Rishi, how are you, mate? It's been a while.
I'm good. I'm good, man. It's really been a while. How you been?
Yeah, very good, thank you. I'm looking forward to unpacking your story because last time you were on the show, we just had a little snippet from you. We talked about interest rates, talk about changing in the market, and I guess a little bit of market perception psychology, which is one of the things that led to a conversation that you and I had afterwards, which is about kind of unpacking your portfolio and everything that you've learned across like almost like a few decades of investing. And I'm really looking forward to unpacking your story. But before we get into it, is there anything you wanted to kind of set the stage with or say at all, mate?
Uh, I think, Matt, we can get into it, but just one thing I would like to share. I would like to unpack my story, and if anybody can learn from it or take something from it, that would be really great.
Awesome. All right, well, let's get into the very first life lesson. And I think the way that you're wanting to start this was basically with a fruitful mistake, which I found was quite interesting. But can you tell us a little bit more about this and expand on it?
Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll just take a step back before that and how I started my journey, and I kind of feel proud of it. Now I moved to New Zealand back in 2002, 2003,
Yep.
and started my journey. Did my post graduation and an MBA from in Auckland, New Zealand.
Okay, so studied hard.
Yeah, I kind of studied hard. Back home, it's you have to study, become a doctor, become an engineer, become an MBA or something. So
Yep.
that was my passion. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, just living like every other student life, going to uni in the morning, doing two jobs, working at Burger King or McDonald's and Woolies, all that stuff, renting with friends in a house you got for, 4 or 5 of us, having a party every second day.
So proper student life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I miss. And that's when the whole life started, started got my first job, but then I had this passion in me, uh, oh, yes, this is a great. So I could really plan my trajectory. All right, this is my job. This is how I'll move ahead. But I just really wanted something where I could have an impact or something. And I was like just kind of dream big.
Can I ask
And
who lit that spark for you, Rishi? Is that a mum and dad thing? Is that another external influence? Like, where'd that come from?
I would say it's a combination of all of them. A bit from my dad. My dad was a very learned person.
Hmm.
He was a scientist. He had done it in MSc in chemistry. He's quite a
Oh
learned.
wow.
Same my mom also. She was quite a learned person. So that's where the education thing and then looking at our friends, our families, how people are growing. It's
Yep.
kind of. We have doctors, we have engineers, we have judge in our family. So it's kind of not a pressure, but it was more of an influence. Just be growing. Try some big steps to fill in, but how can you grow? How do you think that you're growing within your domain?
I like that. So it wasn't done in a you must kind of way. It was just done in more of a it was normalized to succeed, to grow, to educate yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and so how did you go from there? So you've gone, you've moved to New Zealand. You've started eating megarang. Actually, you didn't say anything about megarang. That's just what student life is in my head. But so you had some student years, share housing, working your butt off by the sounds of it. What was that? Hungry Jacks, Woolies, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Where to from there?
Yeah. And not me goreng, cup of noodles.
Okay, couple.
I think, yeah. So as I said, it's always that having that very first step and having saving that very first penny, saving that very first hundred, saving that very first thousand.
Hmm.
You start saving money,
Hmm.
and I would say if what I believe it's you start investing when it's good for you, not when it's good for the market.
Well, I like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think it's this all started in 2007 when it was a GFC period. And everybody was saying, "Oh, market is crashing down. It's everything is melting. Everything is, kind of that uh, the dot com thingy in 2000 where everything
Hmm.
was going to fall down. And yeah, you're crazy if you buy."
World
But
is ending.
yeah, the world is
Yep.
ending. But then I worked out my numbers just to have the saving. Is can I afford this property? Can I go with my first investment? And and that is when is good is an example. And many of my friends, but they must be kicking themselves today that wish they would have also invested. And that's when I bought my first property, and I was in a position. And actually, what the funny thing was about that, the money that I gave for the deposit was actually the money I saved to get married, because I was getting married in 2008.
How'd your wife or soon to be wife feel about that?
Um, that's quite a good question. I still think at times, but I mean,
Are you still
um,
together? So she kind of thought too badly.
yeah,
Yeah,
here we
yeah,
had got two trophies, two kids, a boy
yeah.
and a girl. um, see, what I feel is that when she moved to New Zealand, is that till today she brags that she has lived in a rental house only once, when we moved to New Zealand, from New
Okay.
Zealand to Australia.
Yep.
When she got married, she came to New Zealand. I could see that smile on her face,
Mm.
is that she moved into her own house. So she
Yeah.
felt
Okay.
that pride. And that's when I felt, is that, what are your priorities? I would have used that money and go for an extravagant honeymoon, or I could have bought one of those luxury cars. But with that investment of a small 20, $30,000,
Mm.
I could make some big bucks when we moved on, with that investment chart going up. That realization of, when you say, when you're sleeping, your business is growing. Assets are growing. You're not even working, but they're growing because of the hard work you've done behind the scenes.
And have you gone on a few more holidays since then?
Oh yeah, yeah. Initially, we have been planning now, and that's what she always wants. We have to go holiday at least once a year. That's what, now we are kind of in that position now.
This is something that I'd love to do as a whole episode one day, but the order of it, it sounds like you absolutely nailed that. But that I don't even think we're at the takeaway yet, because we're at fruitful mistake. But this is my first takeaway though, is making sure that you get the house first, then do the big wedding or whatever else you want to spend it on, instead of the other way around.
Yeah, that's what I said. You have to set up your priorities. You you can always go on a big holiday. You can always go on luxurious thing. You can always spend money when you want to. You can do your savings. You can use credit cards. There are lots of means. You can take loans.
Hmm.
But then, looking at the market, is at the right time you can invest, because opportunities don't knock at your door twice.
Opportunity. You're just full of good sayings, Rishi. I like this. Opportunity to knock out. I'm just writing this down. Okay. Well, look, speaking of nothing to do with what we're talking about, though, I have just looked down at the clock and I know that we've still got another 7 to run through, though. So, as
Right.
far as the actual fruitful mistake in this portion of your life and building the portfolio, what was that? What's the lesson here?
So I would say it's that the pain here is that everyone is saying, don't do it. And then you're listening to everybody.
Yep.
But I focused on what was good for me, but not was good for the market. And the outcome is that it did a good around 36 to 38% growth in the next 4 years.
Okay, so what I'm getting from that then is not that it was a mistake, but at the time you could have easily have felt like you were making a mistake because everyone around you was like, "What are you doing? This is crazy."
Exactly.
However, you ended up killing it on the ROI over the next coming years.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Love it. I think that's very applicable for anyone investing right now in 2023 as well. But is anything else you wanted to wrap up on number one before we move to the next one?
No, as I said, just one more quote, mate. What I would say over here, there are only two times to invest, either today or 10,000 years back.
Yeah.